So self-love in relationships, oftentimes we are looking for a relationship because we're seeking to fill this hole that we have inside of ourselves. And we don't really know what to hold. We want this relationship, we want this relationship, we want this relationship. Maybe we had a relationship that we just got out of. Maybe we've had a long period of time that we haven't been in a relationship because we're waiting for the one, waiting for that one person that's going to complete us. And really, there is no completion of us. The completion within us comes from us. So when we get into a relationship and we are expecting that person to complete us, it puts a lot of unconscious pressure on them and the relationship rather than us having it within ourselves. When we show up to a relationship full of ourselves in a healthy way, we show up complete. We show up in a way that we're not dependent on what somebody else does for our own happiness. So another way that it shows up in relationships, in intimate relationships, is we don't take things personally because we are full of our own self-love. So we're less judgmental of ourselves. And when we're less judgmental of ourselves, we're of course less judgmental of other people. And we are not constantly worrying about what other people think of us or what we've done. It's not to say that a self-loving person just removes any concern about what other people think about them, but it's the fear and it's all the angst that we get around that starts to alleviate. So self-love, being a self-loving person also means that we have to take responsibility for ourselves. So self-love is not to be confused with narcissism. Narcissism is usually when people are so basically hateful to themselves or unloving, we'll say that, unloving to themselves, that they make themselves someone that they're really not. They overcompensate. They self-aggrandize. They squash people. They walk all over people. They don't care about what other people think. They don't care about how they're having an impact on other people. So this is the exact opposite of that. So you're really when you infuse yourself with self-love, you are acknowledging who you are. And you take personal responsibility for your own actions, how you show up in the world. So you're not just going around saying, I'm self-loving now, and so now I don't care about anybody. I don't care about what happens to this person. I don't care about what happens to that person. No, you do. You just take personal responsibility for how you show up. The difference is you don't feel guilty about it. Oftentimes when we do something that has a negative impact on somebody else's life, we feel guilty about it. And so that guilt doesn't do anything but fester and just makes us feel worse inside. So a self-loving person will take responsibility for what they've done, acknowledge it, and say, okay, yeah, you know what, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. It would have been better if I had done X. It would have been better if I had done Z. So we move through things much more quickly. We don't get mired down. We don't get bogged down in this heaviness of feeling guilty and saying, oh, I'm just a miserable person now because I did that. It's like, no, you just made a mistake. We all make mistakes. There are certain mistakes that are worse than others, but I mean, we're talking about common everyday mistakes that we make. So we become more accepting of ourselves and just realizing, okay, yeah, you know what, I made a mistake and I'm just going to move on and learn from it. A self-loving person learns from their mistakes.